Well, good morning and welcome to Fremont.Church. My name is Matt and I'll be hosting our live stream this morning. Oh, I hit my microphone. I see we have Dave in the chat this morning. Good morning. So glad that you're joining us. We are continuing our Help Wanted series this morning. These are characters from the Old Testament that point us to the need for Jesus. It's very exciting. We're going to hear from Pastor Becca today on the topic of Esther, which is an interesting book in the Bible, filled with lots of rich history, and actually doesn't mention God. So why is Esther in the Bible if it's not talking about God? So we'll jump in today, and I'll let Pastor Becca speak to that, since she's the expert on our staff about Esther, and so I'm very excited to be able to learn from her this morning. This will be a couple of weeks out from our Palm Sunday and then Easter Sunday. We'll also be doing a Good Friday gathering, both in person and online, at 7 p.m. On that Friday before Easter. And so please stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome. And if you want to find all the ways that we are looking to bring the church to you online, please scan the QR code. That'll take you to our link tree. You'll see some of the ministry highlights that we'll talk about this Sunday, as well as a special kind of highlight from one of our missionaries, Cassandra, who is here from Africa and will tell us a little bit what it's like to be a dorm mom. And so essentially taking almost a dozen 11th and 12th grade girls who are children of missionaries under her wing, and essentially being the parent, the stand-in parent for all of them. It's an incredible story. We've got some awesome stuff coming up as well, and you can see all of that online at Fremont.Church. We are going to get started in just under a minute here, but we'll check back in for some community time, where we will just be able to connect a little bit more. We'll have some discussion questions that you can feel free to put in the chat. And so feel free, warm up your fingers and get chatting, and we'll love to connect with you. I see we have Noreen jumping on as well. Good morning. We are going to get started here in just a few seconds with the time of worship through music. So thank you so much for being here, and happy Sunday.
Good morning, Fremont Community Church. Welcome this morning. I want to welcome those joining us online as well. My name is Ty. I'm one of the pastors here at FCC. If you're still in the atrium getting something from the sale or getting coffee, I want to welcome you inside this morning as we start our morning with worship through song. And as you're able, would you stand and join us as we sing? Come all you weary, come all you weary, come all you saints, come to the fountain, to the edge of the banks. The water is stirring, the tides are now turning. Come jump in the river of grace. Searching, it's time for returning. Come jump in the river of grace. I am not who I once was. My whole life has been changed. I met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same. My burdens, he took my all the broken are healed. When he died my death, to give me his breath, oh, how my future is seen. I am not who I once was. My whole life has been changed. I met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same. And now I live in resurrection power. 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 I am not who I once was. My whole life has been changed. I met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same. I am not who I once was. My whole life has been changed. I met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same. Met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same. Met the forgiver, and now this sinner will never be the same.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise that we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in worship. We're going to continue to worship with the time of community. That means we'll have some questions up on the screen to get to know the people around you, maybe get to know someone new. Then after that, we'll continue on with our gathering.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to Fremont Community Church. My name is Matt, and I'm hosting this live stream this morning. I see we have the Cadenas family jumping on Facebook. Good morning. So glad that you can join us. This is our community time where we just get to chat a little bit and connect online. So we have two questions that we ask every week. What are you stressed about and what are you thankful for? And then two questions that we change every week. And so this week it's, who is someone in your life who has watched over you? And the second question is, describe a time when an obstacle felt too big. So feel free, put your responses in the chat, and we'll have a little bit of community time online. Let's see, what am I stressed about and what am I thankful for? I am mostly thankful right now, actually. We actually just came out of a kind of stressful time where there was... my wife and I were both sick, and there was a ton of people here at the church that were sick, and it was just wild. And then we had a trauma care training, and then I had just a couple of days, and then we took a small group of our leadership and elders, MMT, out to Tampa for a micro church conference to figure out how we can be more intentional about being out in our community and being the church there rather than just being the church within the four walls of the building of the church. And so that was really stressful. And so I'm very thankful because now I'm back home and caught up on sleep and getting back into the swing of things, which is always challenging after travel. So yeah. Let's see, who is someone in my life who has watched over me? Noreen says, stressed about life currently. I'm sorry to hear that. If you want to elaborate more, you can, but there's no pressure to. I will be praying either way. Let's see, someone in my life who has watched over you. Okay, the obvious answer that I'm taking off the table is Jesus or God or anything of that kind. Someone who has watched over me. That's a good question. I think my parents are a given. I've had a couple of pastors here when I was younger who kind of like were looking out for me, I would say. I don't know if there's kind of one central person who's been that in my life. Yeah, I'm curious what everyone else has to say about that. Let's see. A time when an obstacle felt too big. Oh man. Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I was in seminary. I was getting my degree, and I hit a point learning about church history where it felt like everything was just stacked against me. And I was about 2/3 the way done with my program, and I can see why they put it kind of towards the end of the program, because it was kind of like, well, this group of people disagrees with this group of people, and then from that branches off a different disagreement and a different disagreement and a different disagreement, and that's how we get church denominations. And so I kind of was walking away from it thinking, great, well, no one agrees on anything. That just makes me feel awesome. And I questioned a lot of things. And I questioned, like, do I really want to be a pastor? Is this something that I can do? Well, if everyone is disagreeing, then what is the point? And I got to a place in my life where I realized that having all the right answers isn't the point. But to me, in that kind of those couple weeks, I was like, do I want to keep doing this? And that obstacle of finishing my program felt very big, because not just because of the assignments or the coursework, but because of what I guess lay at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Noreen says, right now my mother-in-law's health seems as an obstacle is too big. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm sure that's very stressful as well. Feel free to keep chatting. We're going to jump into some ministry highlights.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, my name is Benji Craig. I'm a volunteer here. I just want to welcome you guys. And if anybody here is new, there's some cards in the back of the seat you can fill out and take to the welcome desk. We got a little welcome gift for you. And then just want to go through a couple of updates. Yesterday, we had an Everything Families event here. We served about 100 families and gave away 5,000 diapers. So that's pretty amazing. And I'm sure they're probably looking for more diapers, so connect with Ruth outside and find out what size diapers they need for next month. Then next Saturday, we have another event called Joyful Bounty, which we're going to be providing Easter meals to a bunch of families for them to take home. And we're still looking for about 5 more bags. So if you want to help out with that, please go outside and talk to Ruth. And then also, we're going to need more volunteers for the day. So if you want to volunteer with that, go to the Compassion Network table right outside, and you can find out more about that. And I think there's a QR code right there that you can snap and get. Women's crafting event. We've got a women's crafting event coming up on April 11th. So please come and be creative and enjoy community that way as well. And we also have a discipleship pathway class starting. It's probably going to start the Thursday right after Easter, and so we'll have some more information on the exact time and date, but be thinking about that. Talk to Will if you want to be part of it. Really cool class about learning how to be in your community and really seeing where God is working in your community. And then if you want to give, you can give online. We've got columns in the back that you can drop your tithe in, or you can mail it as well. And with that, I would like to invite Becca up for our series, Help Wanted.
Okay, is that on? Awesome. I think that was the first time I actually had to lift the music stand up. Usually I'm a lot shorter, but that was cool. Is that what it feels like to be tall? Ty? Yeah? Oh, okay. It's got its perks, I guess. So as you guys know, my name is Becca, and I run student, college, and young adults here at FCC. So if you fall into any of those categories, please come find me. We've got some fun stuff coming up. But this series has been all about needing help or a need for a perfect solution to our human-created problems. God recruits people to attempt to help humans get out of the problems he created, ultimately pointing us to Jesus, the perfect help and solution to disconnection from God. So this series, we've talked a lot about men, and today I get the honor of telling you about Esther and how Israel needed a woman's help. In order to understand why Israel needs Esther's help, we need to review some of Israel's history. This may be a tad boring for some of you, but I have lots of pictures, so it'll be fun. But before we get started, I want to share a little tool that I have been utilizing for a couple years when it comes to listening to sermons. I have a little journal that really helps me just take notes and focus, mainly focus. That's hard for me. So I have all these lovely students in the front row that are going to be passing out journals just for you guys. So if you want to take notes, so if you want to doodle, you want to play tic-tac-toe, maybe that helps you listen. It helps me listen. So if you guys are in the front row or second row, or you are a student of any varietal, please grab one of the baskets. And if you want a journal to scribble on, write with, or utilize today and moving forward, please go ahead and raise your hand. Raise your hand. You don't have to take one, but there's plenty, okay? And you'll find pens in the seat backs, all that good stuff. But this has just been really helpful for me to stay focused and learn a lot. So hopefully it helps you. All right. While they're passing that out, I'm going to tell a funny story because I don't want to dive into any of the history without everybody, because it's a lot. So I'm not a fan of preaching. It's not my forte. And so usually when they're asking, who wants to preach in this series or whatever, I just stare at the floor. and hope to like just disappear, right? Like this is not what I do. And we're sitting in our production meeting one day, and Matt Ridings, I see you up there. Yeah. He's all, Becca, you should preach on Esther. And I just go like this. I'm like, ugh. And it felt like I was back in high school when the kid is like, teacher, you forgot to collect the homework. Like, that's what it felt like. And I was like, oh, I see you up there. All right, cool. I'll remember this. So if you hate my message today, please go talk to Matt and harass him. It's his fault, okay? All right, did everybody get a journal that wanted one? Yeah. All right, and if you love the message today, then you can come talk to me. But if you hated it, please go to Matt. Okay. All right, so this is the first time I'm using the clicker, so we'll see what happens. All right, I've got a lot of history to cover today, and I'm going to do it really fast. So I'm going to let you guys pull out your notebooks if you want to use them. You can write a timeline. You can do whatever you want. You can do nothing. I'm not grading this, okay? But there will be a test at the end. All right, so here's picture number 1. Looks so easy to read, right? I know. So the first dot on the timeline is creation and the fall. This is the first items in the timeline of the Old Testament as we read it. Genesis, which discusses Abraham, Canaan, and many patriarchies of the Bible. Then we get into Exodus and Deuteronomy and Moses, the law, Mosaic law, that's where we get that, the 10 Commandments, and the Exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. Then we get in, here's another little timeline in case you like this one better. Then we get into Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. We discuss Joshua and the conquest of the promised land. We get into 1 Samuel through 1 Kings, where Saul and King David are discussed. Monarchy and a united nation are introduced, followed by a divided kingdom of the northern and southern Israel and or Judah. And we get into Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon, which is our wisdom literature. That's here. And after the time period of united monarchy begins the time of division. This is where 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles continue. There's a period of exile in which we have Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, and those ones are written. However, this time of exile was foreshadowed by Obadiah, Joel, Isaiah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, and Jeremiah. Okay, you guys got all that? Totally, right? You're totally following along. You can say all of those names. Great. After the exile is a time period of return to God and a restoration of Israel. This is where we get Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther are all a part of this time period, followed by the last couple of prophets that end out the Old Testament, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. And just so you have one more timeline, here you go. We are going to focus here. This is around the timeline of Esther, okay? So she's kind of smack dab in the middle. Esther is towards the end of a silent period from God where Israel is scattered and is looking to be reunified, okay? All you need to know from all of that is Israel is not in their promised land and they're everywhere. That was a very long way of saying that. I apologize. But Israel will need God's help through Esther to once again be back in good standings with God. I know this was a really, really brief overview. But this is to encourage you to go back and check it out for yourself. I'm not going to tell you everything. That's not fun. This is a very macro level view of a lot of intricate stories of Israel's historical timeline. And as we discuss the book of Esther, I'm going to review some of the characters that we're going to be talking about in our story today. So the first one I want to bring up is this baddie, Esther. She's the star of the show today, okay? She is one of the main characters in this Help Wanted series, and she's the only female in this series. So she's pretty cool. Esther's story is one that is filled with fear, sorrow, strife, struggle, and choice. Much like all of our stories, we have choices on how to respond in difficult situations. Esther responds with grace, dignity, obedience to God, and her response saved her people from genocide. Maybe we need an Esther today. All right, so Esther's background. How many of you guys watch The Golden Girls? Anybody? Please raise your hand. Okay, ready? Picture it. Israel, 475 BC. Okay? I love Sophia Petrillo, okay? She is who I aspire to be when I am older because she's so sassy. And I love everything about her. Anyway, distraction. Israel, BC. Israel's in exile. The Persian king, King Xerxes, is in power and rules over Israel. Okay? This guy. First off, woof. This is King Xerxes, who right off the bat has a spat with his wife, okay? All right? Her name is Queen Vashti. So this guy is married to Queen Vashti. He gets mad at the queen at a party one day because she's unwilling to take her clothes off in front of his friends. Boo. You can boo at him, okay? Boo. There we go. There's going to be lots of booing. It's the Old Testament. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So, because of everything that happens with the king and Queen Vashti, the king decides we need 2 new decrees. One, that women need to be subservient to their husbands or obey everything their husbands say. And 2, that all available women should now be brought to the king so he can pick a new queen. Sounds like a stellar guy. The king is now looking for a new queen, and this is where Esther comes in. All right, we're gonna talk about another character here. Esther is an orphan brought in by her uncle Mordecai. Okay, this is Mordecai. He's a good guy. Yay, Mordecai. So Mordecai raised Esther as his own, and they had a very good relationship from what we can gather. Mordecai looked after her well, and Esther trusted and obeyed Mordecai as a father. So they had a really good relationship. He was very protective of her and watched over her really, really well, which you're going to see here in a minute. But Esther is sent to the palace because she's young and available and is placed under the care of Haggai, an attendant in the palace. I don't have a picture of Haggai. I'm sorry. At this point, Esther has not revealed her heritage, i.e., that she is Jewish, because a reminder at this point, Israel's in exile under the King Xerxes of Persian rule. Okay, we following? Basically meaning Israel is of lower class or status than Persians. They are less than. They're outcasted. They're tolerated. Mordecai would walk near the temple every day to check on Esther and make sure she was okay. Okay? Esther goes through a 12-month beautification process. Holy cow, I want one of those. All right? So imagine doing like skincare for 12 months straight. You've got everything. You've got the quartz roller, the gua sha thing, the like hot springs, baths, the light mask, like all of it. Can you imagine doing that for 12 months? I would be glowing. But you name it, Esther did it. So for 12 months, she was getting all prepped to go meet that king. Ugh. And Esther goes before King Xerxes, and he takes a liking to her. When she comes in, he puts a crown on her head and says, "You're the new queen," by Queen Vashti. Apparently, that's how marriage worked back then. So here is Esther as a queen, and also as the picture we showed earlier, but here's a couple different artist interpretations of what she might have looked like. And one day, when Mordecai was coming to check on Esther, he overhears 2 Persian guards, so people that worked for the king, talking about how they wanted to kill the king. Dun, dun, dun. He tells Esther, and she immediately goes and tells the king what Mordecai had said, ultimately saving the king's life. The 2 guards are put to death, and Esther is in good graces with the king. What could go wrong, right? Everything seems like it's going so smoothly. All right. Well, here's where the conflict begins. Esther is Jewish, like we said, and the Jews, like we mentioned, are second-class citizens. And all it takes is one Jewish person to piss off the king, and the Israelites could be wiped out by genocide. So this is a very fragile time to be alive, and especially a fragile time to be the queen. Mordecai and Esther know that they need to leverage her privilege to protect and raise up their people from second-class citizenship and get back their land. They ultimately need the authority from the king to learn how to protect themselves. This leads to a conflict, or our kind of, conflict of the story, if you will. So we've got Queen Esther and Mordecai versus King Xerxes and someone you haven't met yet, Haman. Get ready to boo, okay? You might be noticing this new kid on the block, and this is a guy named Haman. And Haman is a guy that has a very fragile ego, struggles when people don't do exactly what he wants, and likes to start wars. That's better. Okay. Maybe you can think of a modern day example of this, but Haman is the snake of our story, okay? He is the antagonist of this story. And Haman being the one that killed the 2 disloyal guards that tried to kill the king is going to be celebrated and elevated to noble status. So they're getting ready to have this party, right? Because Haman saves the king upon Queen Esther and Mordecai's findings, and then he gets all of the honor and celebration. And at this party, everyone bows to Haman and takes like they kneel, right? Except Mordecai. Mordecai refuses to kneel before Haman because it is against Jewish tradition to kneel before anyone but God. So Haman decided to start planning, well, how can I get rid of Mordecai, and how can I get rid of the Jewish people because they're not going to bow down to me? Then he meets with some of the other Persian guards, and they start casting lots on which day they're going to pick to wipe out all of the Jewish people in their land. Pretty dramatic, very dramatic, but that's okay. Every story needs some drama. So Haman is able to go to the king and persuade him to sign off on this genocide. A decree was sent out through all of the land of Susa, which is kind of in this Persian territory where a lot of the Jewish people were living. And King Xerxes says, okay, fine, here's my seal of approval with my ring. Mordecai receives this news and begins to grieve and weep, for he knows what he had sparked a rage in Haman that caused this. Esther gets wind of this and realizes she has to do something. She has to protect her people from the inevitable, and so she decides to pray and fast for 3 days. Okay? On the 3rd day, Esther, despite fear of death, approaches the king with her concerns. And she requests from the king, she wants to have a dinner with Haman and the king and just eat and hang out and drink and be merry for 2 days. Kind of an odd request, but okay. So the king says, all right, let's do it. So Queen Esther, on the 2nd night of feasting, requests that the people who were sold, the Jewish people, that they were sold as slaves to Haman, and they were to be annihilated. But she reveals that she is of those people. She is Jewish. And the king finds this out, and he starts to weep bitterly, knowing that he basically signed her death wish. He decides, after Haman does some shady things, that he's going to overturn his decrees. He's going to overturn this approval to kill all of the Jewish people, and that they're going to be saved, and he's going to protect them. There's a lot of twists and turns in this story that I want you guys to go read. I'm not sharing every little nook and cranny of 10 chapters today. We would be here for hours. So there's some juicy things in here that I want you to go read on your own of how Haman gets caught doing all these crazy things. And so please go read that. I'm saving some of the juicy bits for you, all right? So that's your homework this week is I want you to go read Esther. It's only 10 chapters. And if you read 1 chapter a day, you'll be done in a week and a half, or 2 a day, and you're done in less than a week. So that's your homework, okay? But all that to say, they catch Haman. They decide, no, we're not doing this. And Haman's estate is given to Esther. And remember, Haman now owned all of the Jewish people. So that means they're a part of his estate. Because the king gave it to Esther, Esther's now in charge of all of her people. She's able to equip them. She's able to teach them how to protect themselves. She's able to arm them. She's able to protect them. So because of this, ultimately, it's going to lead Israel into a place of stability and peace. All right. That was a lot of information. You guys still with me here? Yeah. Okay, you're following? Yeah. See, Sophia Petrillo, man. Okay. So Queen Esther brought safety to her people, saved them from genocide, and remained faithful to her God. And oddly enough, God isn't even mentioned once in the book of Esther. Isn't that interesting? Okay, this whole story sounds very Shakespearean. I know that. And I know I summarized a lot. And like I said, there's still a lot more for you guys to read. But I wanted to get through the major nuts and bolts of it. And there's so much more to these stories. And 2 days of fasting that lead the king to kill Haman and Esther to save Israel. But like I said, you guys have your homework. So much like the characters we discussed in this series, Adam and Eve, Abraham, Melchizedek, Moses, David, and now Esther, we see lots of literary devices and similarities. In this series, I hope you've seen the depths of symbolism and the constant thread throughout these stories that God is always working, even when we don't see it or understand it, even when we feel like we're in times of silence. Because remember, Israel was in a time of silence. They weren't hearing from God. God isn't even mentioned in the book of Esther. Maybe you feel like you're in a season of silence. You're not hearing from God. Where is he? Why is Esther even a part of this series anyway? I think Esther's a part of this series, bless you, for a couple of reasons. Bless you. Mordecai and Esther knew who their God was and did not waver, did not give in or bow down to anyone but Yahweh. Despite not seeing visible miracles from God, we can conclude through the story of Esther that sometimes God is working provisionally rather than visibly. And this challenges us to pray for God's favor. The story of Esther marks the end of God's silence or a season of exile. Esther's courage and loyalty to God brought her the creative ideas she needed to survive and save the Jewish people from genocide. This challenges us to bring justice and protect the outcasted of society. And lastly, at the end of Esther, we learn of a new holiday that was created to mark the remembrance of what Esther did for her people called Purim. It is where people gather to celebrate, feast, and bring provisions and gifts to the poor. The word Purim comes from the word pure or pur. Nope. We're not going to give Becca this anymore. That's what we just learned. Okay. Pur, which means lots. And if you remember earlier from the story, we remember that Haman was casting lots of which day he was going to annihilate the Jewish people. So they turned it around and turned it into a time of celebrating the outcasted of society. This teaches us that as we celebrate God's faithfulness in our lives, we must actively choose to be inclusive to those around us, even if they're different from us. We must build bigger tables, not taller fences. Our world has a lot of similarities to the story of Esther. Lots of conclusions can be drawn, statements made, and opinions given. I ask today that we remember a couple things as we get ready to close. God wants us to help so we can see his provision in seasons that lack in-your-face miracles. Because remember, God doesn't need our help. God wants our help. He can do anything, but he wants our help so that we can learn some things. This being the first one. We learn of God's provision. Secondly, we learn God wants to help so we can see his protection in seasons of fear, grief, and or persecution. And thirdly, that's a word. Yes. God wants us to help so we can see his perseverance in the way he pursues all of those he created. The poor, the outcasted, the widows, the orphan, the discarded, the lonely, the grieving, the difficult, those that think, look, and act and are just different from us. He wants to help all of us. And sometimes that is done through the most unlikely of characters like Esther, the only woman in the lineup of men in this series. Okay. Esther wasn't perfect, but she was close. She is the last of the major symbolic characters that point us to Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. But more on Jesus in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to invite the band to come up, and I just want to close with this. Today, I'm going to ask that you go be the church. I'm going to ask that you go be like Jesus, and I'm going to ask that you go read Esther. See how your life intertwines with hers, and ask yourself, what is God asking of you? Thanks, everybody.
We're going to continue to worship this morning. So as you're able, would you stand and join us as we sing? This first song is called No Longer Slaves. And while in Esther's story, God's people were saved from being taken out, they were free to be themselves again. We are, as followers of Jesus, we are not slaves to fear. We are not slaves to sin. We are chosen. We are saved. And so let's continue to worship this morning. of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Yes, I am. I am a child of God. Let's just sing that chorus one more time. I'm no longer a slave. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. We're going to sing one more song this morning. I want to give a little bit of a background to it. It's called Blessed Are the Merciful. It's from a band called The Porter's Gate. We sing a few of their songs around here. And it was written while the band was on a retreat, and their kind of prompt for writing songs was to find a piece of scripture and just write a song out of it. And so this song is written from one of the Beatitudes of Jesus in Matthew 5. And so it is a song that I think resonates pretty well with Esther, being one who put her own life on the line to show mercy to her people. She could have been punished by the king because of stepping out into to raise her voice, but she chose to follow God's leading and to follow and be merciful to her people. So let's continue to worship this morning.
Blessed are the merciful, blessed are the merciful, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Mercy. Forgive us as we forgive those who sin against us. Forgive us as we forgive those who sin against us. Lord, have mercy on us, show your mercy through us, Lord. Have mercy on us, show your mercy through us, Lord. Have mercy on us, show your mercy through us, mercy. We're going to sing You Make Beautiful Things. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of us. Lord, have mercy on us, show your mercy through us, Lord. Have mercy on us, show your mercy through us, Lord. Have mercy on us, show your mercy through
All right, thank you, Becca, for that message. If you would like somebody to pray with you, we've got some tables up here. We're going to have some people after service here to pray alongside you. And then another thing, right after service, we actually have a fundraiser going on for people who are going to the Dominican Republic this summer. So go check out the table, support the trip. We'd really appreciate that. And then I'm going to read a benediction. And so if you want to put out your hands in a posture of receiving, this is from Matthew 5, 14 to 16. You are the light that gives the light to the world. A city that is built on a hill cannot be hidden, and people don't hide light under a bowl. They put it on a lampstand. Then the light shines for all people in the house. In the same way, you should be a light to other people. Live so that they will see the good things you do. Live so that they will praise your Father in heaven. So just like Esther, go be the church. Have a great week, guys.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at Fremont Community Church. I hope that message was a blessing to you. And like Becca said, if you have any problems with it, I guess you can come and talk to me. But I was very encouraged, and I love hearing from books of the Bible that we don't typically hear from, and from speakers that, again, we don't often hear from. And so I think it's just a really exciting opportunity to broaden our horizons a little bit. So if you're looking for all the ways that we are looking to bring the church to you online, please scan the QR code, and you can check out our YouTube page. Specifically, we have stuff going up all throughout the week. And you can always, of course, as well, join our Church Online Discord, where we can keep the conversation going. Or if Facebook group is more your speed, we have that as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a happy Sunday.
I kept telling my coach where to hit it, and I was like, give me a triple here. Because you weren't actually hitting it. Bro, when Kellen was playing, he would piss people off so bad. Because he would be on base, and he would just clap. He would just, as the kids are getting into their windup, he'd just start. And like, if you did that in high school baseball, you'd get ejected. No.
So funny though, your first baseman, when he got on base, like the coach was yelling because he like does not take any lead. Isaiah.
So he's just,
like this
no,
far off
we
the
told
base.
him not to.
Why?
Oh, really?
He's
Because he's
getting
so
picked
bad
off.
at base running. We're like, stay as close. Our coach was yelling at me, standing on first